Energy video. 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 Yeah, I think it's video. Welcome back to Wasted Wednesday. I sit here on the balcony of wisdom and answer all your questions about the Brewdog Brewery. Sorry, no stream on today, gaming wise, but the dude's coming, so I've got to clean up the bathroom, and that means nuke the whole place with bleach and scrub it down. Oh, I'm not doing that today. I just can't do that today. But that means tomorrow we get to do that. So all's good in the neighborhood, indeed hood. I got beer. I got sunshine on my shoulders. It makes me happy. And I've got other things, such as a set of shades. Actually, the bathroom place went really well. That should be sorted out in no time and at low cost too. We'll see what he's like when he comes around. It's a shame we don't get any Wasted Wednesday, but you do get me wasted on camera. And tomorrow you get Thursday, Gaming Thursday, where I will actually be able to give, what's the name of the damn game? What's the name of it? Drunken Peasants RPG. Be able to give that the time of day. Yeah. So I can see the mic moving, so I know I'm hearing. So yeah, that'll be sorted. I am happy for it. In the meantime, I've got some Brewdog Clockwork Tangerine Citrus Session IPA. Better beer. It's orange beer, basically. It's beer just with orange in it. Good for it. I'll show you the sun, but it is very pretty. Hello, Mr. Sun. You're making everything look very pretty out today. You know how it is on these streams. I'll stream for about an hour, and if no one shows up, I'll end it then. I'll just keep you all entertained with my dulcet tones. My tones that are very dulcet. And from there, we will see. We will see what we can see. What we can see is 3 is for the manatee. Yeah, today was good. Went up, looked at a bunch of bathroom stuff. I got my fan in the bathroom starting to work again, which is great. I simply was messing around with the wrong button. So that'll actually help in a lot of different ways. Spiders are out today, or at least I can see their handiwork. So let's have a look. Brewdog. Ever since I went to the Brewdog bar in Glasgow, I was very disappointed in Brewdog. They still make the best stuff around, but still, you know how it is. Today, actually, I might just sit out on the balcony when this stream is done and just, chillax. And then when I'm good and wasted, I'm going to go into the bathroom and make sure that when he shows up, instead of him going, there'll be more of a, yeah. It's always weird when there's someone coming over, I actually make an effort. Otherwise, I don't fucking care. We mock Egghead for his bathtub, but we all know people. Not me. I wasn't as bad as him, but still. Still, man. Yeah, this bath will be pretty cool when it's done. I get to actually have a bath. Oh, I've been using showers. Whole thing will only take a few weeks to put together. You can also hopefully have a look at our spare bathroom toilet. They've been acting up. So, while I'm here, I want to talk about some news. My opinions on the news. It isn't just going to be me talking about my bath the whole time. I saw Ron Jeremy has been convicted. Another victim of Me Too. Now, there's 2 ways I could go about this. One, I could say, well, what do you expect? He's a man in the porn industry, or he's a victim of lies and you can't rape prostitutes. And if you believe that, well, do leave a downvote so I know where you stand. Um, yeah, I don't know the details, but like Ron Ron always came across as like a sad old man that just so happened to be biologically gifted, so to speak. And I honestly don't know if he did or he didn't, but he has been charged with these counts of sexual assault. So I don't know. Uh, honestly, I hope that it turns out that it's resolved one way or another. It isn't just kind of tiptoed along. If it proves out to be true, then yeah, I want the book and then some thrown at his giant cock. Although I can't imagine him being a bottom in prison. Not Ron Jeremy. He's an old man for sure, but still. Still, man. Stilgar. Who's Stilgar again? Someone's Stilgar. Wheel of Time? Doesn't matter. I'm rambling. As is ancient tradition. So, this beer actually doesn't taste the best. It's a bit stronger than some. It's 4.5. I'm not really getting the tangerine. I'm not. Oh, there it is. It's like that gum that you can get that has orange blast in it. And, you bite into it and you're like, wow, there should be a burst of flavor, but all I'm getting is like orange peels. Anyway, tomorrow I'd love to say I beat the DPRPG. I'd really love to say that today. Tomorrow, rather. But we'll see about that. In other news, much more happier news than Ron, I saw that I actually liked the Injustice game. To the person who wanted to play with me last night, sorry, random stranger, but I don't know who you are. I don't just play with randos. I don't know, maybe if they donated, even then I'd kind of be a bit iffy. I gave you money, now you have to play with me. Actually, getting back to Ron Jeremy, the whole Dom thing on the in the prison shower, like he drops the soap. I mean, for starters, he's so fat and so old. It'd be more of a power statement that he banged Ron Jeremy up the ass. But he's done gay stuff as well, hasn't he? Shit. Today would be an absolute lovely day to go up hiking up on top of Shemore over there. Only problem? You'd have to be really, 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 really taking care of yourself. And when you got on top of Shemore, you'll see that there's a few other hills around here that are even more way taller than that. I mean, I don't know how well that you're going to see it in this light with this shitty camera, but I mean, hell, the bar is kind of in the way. Yeah, you can see Shemore, but the thing with Shemore is that it's very. It's actually very small in comparison. I mean, the fact that I climbed it means that it must be very, very small. Getting down was the bigger bitch than getting up, let me tell you. So, yeah. Oh, next week the pubs are back open, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to take it down up to the hotel, rather. And we might get a live stream out from the hotel. Don't know how good the signal's going to be. Don't know how packed it is. If it's too packed, I ain't doing it. It's awkward enough as it is. Can't wait to get my new phone. PC's got to come first, so it's going back and forth, back and forth. As long as I got the money, that's all that matters. God, this beer actually is not nice. I'm not going to lie. I mean, down enough for them and you won't give a shit. But, yeah. I am, again, sorry that I can't stream game tonight, but I'll make up for it tomorrow. I'll actually stream much more tomorrow. I'll either stream more of the DPRPG, or I will, hopefully I'll even beat it, or I will stream the, what do you call it? Or I'll try to finish Command & Conquer. Who knows, I could even do both. Put my entire arse into something for once. I suppose I didn't shill this. We're getting one or two randos in. Hi, randos. God, you can see the village is starting to get back together. There's a few more people out than normal here and up in Carrick. In fact, Carrick, it was packed today. A lot of traffic. So a funeral go by. We're in such an old part, like we're such an elderly part of Ireland that you see a lot of hearses. I imagine in Florida that's a big deal. Like you see a lot of ones going around. I wonder what the youngest state in America is, because I'm guessing Florida is the oldest, so the youngest must be like, I don't know, Washington. Yeah, when I get the new computer, oh, that's gonna be great. When I'm committed, I'll actually commit on every last nook and cranny of it. I'll actually upload the specs of the computer so you guys can have a browse. I should really ask Chaos Gamer and Ezreal for advice on it, seeing that they both are really technically minded. Want to be sure that what I'm getting will last a long time. If not, I've got to pay way more, which means I've got to wait a bit longer, which I might be able to do for a few extra hundred. I don't know. I mean, if I've got like 1,005, hell, why not just wait until I get 2,000? Then I can walk out of there with anything I want. The only thing I wouldn't want is for it to show up and it would be actually like all bits. That'd be a great live stream, but still. It's about time I actually do stream like building stuff. There was actually a game I was thinking of getting, Gaming PC Simulator. That was pretty big for a while. Ooh, speaking of, one of the people who played it was Angry Joe. I saw he's getting a lot of flack right now. He also has been Me Too'd. By the looks of what I've seen, he didn't do anything except for be a sleazy prick. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're a sleazy prick, then do better. But it's not like he did anything to her that would be illegal, just something a bit scummy. And I'm not going to lie, he's always given me that vibe of, I don't want to sound racist, but almost like edgy guy, shit like that. I've always kind of got that vibe off him, that he's kind of like, no. I mean, I might be wrong. I don't know the man. But anyway, I read most of that blog that she posted up, and yeah, he sounds like a piece of shit. Though she could have said no at any time. Like he wouldn't let her use her phone. No, you can just say fuck you, motherfucker. I'm using my phone. I can't imagine being in a situation where like I'd have that sort of power over someone. You can't use your phone. Why? Because I said so. Fuck you, fat man. But I've never been in that situation, so maybe there are. But no, it's a real. I don't know how he's going to deal with it. He might even just ignore it and hope it goes away, which never happens ever. And it might turn out that he's got other skeletons in his closet. In which case, oof. If that's the case, fuck. I used to watch the shit out of Angry Joe back in the day. Now though, every once in a while I'll watch his reviews that are like scripted with other Joe and Angry Beard and what's the other dude? It doesn't matter. Um, but I don't really. I can't call him a fan. In fact, I'm even thinking of unsubbing from him. He's a little bit. He's gone a little bit sort of Twitch focused, and also a little bit sort of getting really loud and happy for the kids. I mean, he's called Angry Joe. I want to see him enraged at something. I mean, the memes that came out of that man. 4 hours. Which, if you just said randomly with no context, must sound so weird if you just shout it like that. Still, I'm not like bloody Arch, who's immediately sees a Me Too stuff and can't believe it happened. Fuck, the amount of planes doing chemtrails overhead. I almost want to see God coming, like, doing a rail of it. Too many Joes. There is many Joes there, Bill. Most of which are angry. I know, while I have nothing really against Angry Joe, Joe Wisdom, I wouldn't mind feeding his parents to in a blender, with some chili. Ooh, yes. And then sprinkle some pubes on top. I think I'm referencing something, but I don't know. It's escaping my mind. Oh, it is absolutely lovely today. I'm a little bit annoyed I can't stream tonight, but I am very, very happy that we got this today. Oh yeah. The only thing that pisses me off is that the shadows have already gone over the balcony. Oh, you can hear the if you listen very closely. There's a flight training school around here. The little airplanes, the little prop airplanes. You can hear that in the background. And there's someone doing their lawnmower. Their lawn, which out here, considering their fields all around, that takes some time. Look at those chunky cheeks. My God, I'm getting old. Old and attractive. Yeah, so he'll be around about 7. And as he was saying, as the guy was saying, he'll be around about 7. I was like, yeah, sure. Oh, fuck. But then I'm like, well, what matters more? Getting this bathroom fixed matters more. Wish I had a lawnmower. They mow the lawns where I live. Well, they technically mow our lawn. Well, our grass is weird because it's actually not grass. I'll show you. They get moss, and they kind of very flat moss. It's kind of maybe see down here. And it doesn't grow past a certain point, but they trim it once in a while, and it's kind of like pitch. It's kind of like turf, and it's really useful. But on the other side, on the other side of the estuary, they that's like proper just grass and trees and shrubberies. So the farmers, when we first moved out here, we thought it'd be so quiet, and compared to Dublin, I suppose on most days it kind of is, but it is so. There's always someone with a chainsaw doing something. I mean, we are out in the countryside, so they are probably slicing off chunks of meat. They're cutting down trees. They're hay baling. There's tractors going around. I actually like the sound of tractor. I wake up to a sound of a tractor every fucking morning around about 5 o'clock. Seeing that the tractor shed is literally facing my window. Very Farming Simulator 17. The fact they're mowing the lawn. In fact, oh, really? I never liked the smell of cooked grass. Some people love it. I think it smells sickly sweet, like syrup that's been out in the sun too long. I like doesn't help that I'm very prone to hay fever. But I like the smell of petrol, chemicals, like factory stuff. I love walking through like I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't say no to walk through a paint factory, an old paint factory, where they have like open topped vats. Like Jack Napier is gonna fall in one and come out as the Joker. That was Skeletor. Nah, I can't do it. I keep trying to come Mark Hamill, but hey man. Yeah, so I'll give you this. Play it for a year for how long I'll stream. But now, let's see. I talked about Ron Jeremy. I talked about Angry Joe. Oh, there was a police shooting just up the road there, as in a cop was killed. He tried to stop a armed robbery in an old lady's house, and he was shot. Castle Ray. You go up to Drumshambo, and then I think you take a left. It's heading up towards the northern border. After Drumshambo, there's no major town until you hit the northern border. That's how close we are. We're really close to the border with the north. That laugh reminded me of Goon Song Panic. Never heard of it, or if I have, I can't remember it. I always love the laugh from Feel Good. Feel Good. It sounded like he was turning into a pirate ghost. Down on a camel's back. My ultimate stoner music when I really want to zone out. My ultimate stoner moment was it was about this time. Plastic Beach had come out. I had gotten it. I had kept some weed handy, and I was up in my attic was converted and had this huge open window you could kind of flip open, and like about maybe a third of the whole roof would just kind of turn up. And I opened it up, and I was sitting on my bed, and the sun was coming in, and I lit myself up my J, press play on the laptop, and do 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 do, mellow as fuck. That was my ultimate stoner moment that I didn't make an arse of myself. I've got plenty of the other ones too. There are plenty of people who just can't handle weed, and I am more or less one of them. I mean, if it's passing around, I'll take a pull of it. But if it passes again, no. Passes again, no. Pass it again, yeah, okay. Very, very lightweight, and I'm okay with that too. This is my bread and butter. Let me give you some pretty sights. Like I said, it's speaking of. No, they've all been thrown out. Sometimes you find a few goodies here, alas. Yeah, it's a pretty day. It's a beautiful day. Hey. Dublin actually be lovely right now. And with a lot of places opening up, it would be an absolutely great time to go to Stephen's Green, Stephen's Park, and the like. Oh, I'm heading to Dublin in August. Claire's coming back down from Belfast, and she's got some stuff I left with her since when I was heading over to America. So I have to go over to her house and pick it up. So we'll probably spend the day together. If I can, I'll try to stream it. But normally when I'm with Claire, we just We just descend into pure debauchery, and we don't really want to be on camera. Also, I think maybe if I can, I'll try to twist her arm to go up to Steven's Green. That'll be pretty cool. I've still never shown you guys Steven's Green, and this is like the best time of year to do it. It's only going to get wetter and wetter. It was raining yesterday. It'll be probably raining tomorrow. Like right now, there's 36-hour rainstorms just a few miles to the south of us. So we'll probably get that this evening. Ireland is weird, man. Every 5 seconds, the weather changes. Oh, you live next to the water? I sure do. I don't only live next to the water, I live next to the Shannon. That is an estuary that goes into another estuary that goes into the Shannon proper. The Shannon is the biggest river in Ireland. You get to see the Shannon in Carrick-on-Shannon. Carrick-on-Shannon kind of gives it away. But yeah, all those boats out there, they lead out into an estuary that then leads out into a slightly larger estuary up by Dave's. Boats come out here just to be boats, you know. People flock out here, and normally all those docks are just crammed full of boats, and we can charge whatever we like to with ours. Nice little earner, as long as you don't get too greedy. But sometimes the barges show up. There's 1 or 2 barges out there now, but we're talking about the big barges. When they show up, oh my God, they look like fucking buildings on water. They are next to impossible to move. They move at a snail's pace, but they have like cars on them that are kind of winched out and put onto smaller boats that are then put up onto the ground, and then they're drove off, which I think is overly complicated. Ireland is so small. Let's drive them wherever the hell you want to go. There's a car appreciation society up in Drumshambo and in Longford. So just park them up there. They'll take good care of them. And of course, Northern Ireland's famous for its car industry and its bikers. Yeah, there's but the water is lovely, but ironically, it makes me miss the ocean. I really do miss the ocean. When I was in New York, I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. When I was in Dublin, I liked looking out towards the Dublin Quays. Sometimes you'd see these massive cruise liners, the really big ones that are like 20, 30 stories high. And maybe not that big, maybe 20 stories high, actually, now thinking of it, because you got to account for the hull as well. And like the standing next to them, I've been on a few of those, and inside they are just mind-boggling. Cruise ships, like the Titanic, is dwarfed by some of the smaller ones from the 70s. I'm afraid of large bodies of water because you can't swim. You know, one of the few things I'm actually good at is swimming. I haven't gone for a decent dip in a long while, and I am very much out of shape, but it is my favorite exercise, more than running, more than anything. In fact, if I ever end up with a pool and I'm still streaming, I'll probably get myself a laptop that's waterproof and just talk to you guys on the laptop. I'll just do back strokes and the like and come up and back and forth and back and talk to you, because it gets rid of the sweat while you swim. But no, swimming, it's like riding a bike. There's a grace period that you got to be careful on, and then afterwards, like floating is easy. You just kind of go limp. You don't struggle. The more you struggle, the less tension you make, and then you just kind of sink. Weirdest experience in my life, I actually got to float in the Dead Sea, and it's not like swimming at all in water. It's like swimming in soup, like really thick soup, or even tar almost. And people drowned in the sea because you can't drown in it per se, but if you by accident like go face first into the Dead Sea, you might not have the physical strength to pull yourself back around. So they actually have lifeguards in the Dead Sea who, if I'm right, they have jet skis, with really strong engines that go out to you real quick and they just yank you out. But that was a surreal experience. But I love the sea. I absolutely love the sea. It's my English blood in me, especially my uncle who was a Marine. When I was down in Falmouth, which is probably absolutely beautiful this time of year. One of these days, I am just going to book a flight for a little weekend over to when money is good again. I'm going to go over to Falmouth. I'm just going to book into a hostel or even crash with my uncle if he's got a place I can sleep for like 72 hours and just show you down at the pier and like all the yachts are there, all the fishing trawlers coming in as far as France. Oh, it is so, and it's all like hills all around with little with little tiny towns. I might even show you where I lived as a baby. That's a great looking place. It looks like something out of a Nanny McPhee or something like that, or what do you call it? What's the name of it? What's the name of it? Series of unfortunate events. Kind of like a weird, surreal house like that. More so since one of the roofs caved in. But no, swimming, there's nothing to it. There's really nothing to it. You just got to keep going at it, and your body does most of the work after a while. And then there's just the feeling of it, especially on like a scorcher. I mean, you said you live in a really hot environment. To have a pool or like have like a lake or something. Oh my God, that would be a godsend. You either don't when you're on holiday in like a really hot country, you either have to make sure the place has a pool or the place has and a very big pool at that because there's probably a lot of people there, especially kids. Ugh. And a lot of or right next to the ocean. One thing I will say about ocean, I cannot stand some of the things that live in it. Slimy, sickly, like seaweed and sea urchins, jellyfish. Other things I absolutely love, like fucking. I got to see whales last time I was in Tenerife. Only time I was in Tenerife, I got to see whales. Mother and two babies. You could just make them out. We were legally obligated to stay really far away from them, but I managed just to grab it. Oh, it's great. I still have some decent sea legs too. It's been a long time since I was actually out in the water, but I still remember the gist of it. The trick is you just whichever the boat is rocking, you don't fight it. You go with that. And you just kind of go back and forth, back and forth. And the best way around seasickness is that you stay in the middle of the boat and you go on top of you go out on deck. You don't actually go inside the ship. When I was coming back from the Aran Islands, the Finnish girl I was chatting up more or less with, and we were hitting it off. But I noticed on the way back she looked miserable, and it was because she had seasickness. But we were inside the boat, and I suggested we couldn't go out on the top of it, so we had to go to the middle of it. That was lovely. That whole trip was lovely. The weather was terrible, but they were great fun. We met during a power outage. There was like 8 of them. We teased each other back and forth about the way we looked, and then we sat down, we started chatting. I think I'm still friends with her on Facebook, actually. I should really check her out, see how she's doing. Low energy rambles indeed. I'm like a really bootstrap Paul. I'll just start telling random old tales. Story time with Paul. Story time with low energy videos. Would you ever want to watch that? Would anyone like to watch that? Me sitting down and just having an intro and I write up a script telling a story that happened to me. It couldn't be just off like the cuff because, as you might tell, I tend to go and like flub lines and shit. But I can read off a script, especially if it's like connected with pictures and shit. I could do that one of these days. I've got some crazy stories in my life. Some of which will be actually quite sad now thinking about it. Some will be absolutely hilarious. I've only been to other states. Dude, that's such an American answer. You gotta get America's got so much to offer, but that's hard to say these days, but it's true. I mean, remember that last time I was in the States, it tried to kill me, and I'm still praising it. All right, I tried to kill myself, but that's a separate situation altogether. I'm just stupid with money. But yeah, like go and get yourselves some. Go and get get yourself a passport and just go up to Canada for starters. Toronto felt like a different country, not by much, but it did feel like I was in a different country, different attitude, especially from like Buffalo or like fucking New York. Oh, New York when I landed. Ooh, ooh. If it wasn't for what's his name, the English lad who I hung out with, he was from the hostel. We went to the museum, went around Central Park, had a beer. He got everything he wanted from his strip done. He was forced back from it because of the corona. I'm lucky I got out for the corona. Anyway, Frank's Travels, John's Travels, something like that. Yeah, he basically ended up having a great old time. He got all the way to the East Coast, went up and down, went to Canada. Of course, he had the money. I didn't. Maybe if I was streaming more, who knows? Really doubt that though. But I got back safe and sound. But yeah, anyway, back to just go up to Canada or go down to Mexico, Cancun, or trying to think, even Hawaii, which is in the States, but it's a very different culture. Or really go far out, like get enough money together to go out to like Guam. That'd be crazy. Or the Marshall Islands. There was actually a guy across the street from us when I was growing up, and his mom was from the Marshall Islands, and his dad was from Dublin, and he was a pilot. And they met and they married, and he lived in the Marshall Islands for 5 years before he had to come back to Ireland. Poor bastard. He's literally living in a tropical paradise with his son and beautiful wife, and then he has to go back to dreary Dublin. Ugh, hope the money was good. Couldn't have been that good. He was living in Swords. Not the worst place in that Dublin at that time, but especially if you're going to work in the airport, you could walk it if you know how to walk across a field. I always want to go to those really obscure places. I want to go to Easter Island, or I want to go to Christmas Island. That would be crazy. Christmas Island. I can actually say I went there. That apparently has one of the highest purported sex offender prisoner. It's either that or another island that's owned by the British nearby. And it's like famous. It's not famous, but it's infamous for having a lot of like sex offenders locked up in its jail. Just because the population is so small that statistically it's the highest rate. Anyway, I think America wouldn't be America, all the negative sides of it, if you guys got out more. I think your country having so much to offer for you, physically wise, really does affect you, because you need to get out and see how the rest of the world looks and how the rest of the world sees America. I mean, everyone on the planet has some opinion on American politics and American culture and customs, or has direct access, especially in Ireland. Wow, we got some strong ties to the East Coast. In this tiny little village alone, not counting myself, I know at least 5 people who've worked over in New York. And one guy who worked much further than New York went up and down the East Coast, Chicago, down. And there's less than 1,000 people in this place. There's even one or two actual Americans in Carrick. The wife of the owner of the bar, who used in the early days, she used to be one of the barmaids when they didn't have enough staff. She was from Seattle, and she dated the drummer, Kurt Cobain's drummer, but not the ones before they were called Nirvana. So I'm guessing, like, when he was like a nobody, she dated one of the drummers for the longest time. And then she kind of blew it off and said it was nothing. But she's the one who told me, I suppose I'd drop hints like that too. Absolutely. I mean, every once in a while I'm like, yeah, interesting. I had a drink with Christian Bale once. I'm much more my story with Dylan Moran. I did miss the view when I was over in the States. I don't mean the TV show. I mean this literal panoramic view in front of me. Once this lockdown is finished, it probably won't last very long before it's reinstituted, because I saw that a lot of countries are currently going through the motions again. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I hear like there's massive influx of reported cases. Swallows are going at it. We are inundated with swallows around here. They're cute, but they will attack you and shit on you. We had a nest right above our first apartment when we first moved out here. We're on ground floor too. Chris, they didn't bother me, but they bothered Chris a lot. It was weird. Yeah, anyway, back to gaming. I definitely will like to finish off the rest of that Gods Among Us game. I mean, it's free, and it's also different. I mean, this is the first fighting game I think I've ever played on stream. And I'm enjoying it. I kind of like the story more, and I kind of wish there was more like in between the fighting. But also a game I think I'd actually like, because I actually really I really enjoy the people who made it, like their social media presence, is Skullgirls, a game that is literally designed to be like jailbaity, but then they're jailbaity that will fucking rip each other's faces off and like disembowel each other. But they did a cross-promotional mini game involving Zone Tan, where they actually got the narrator from the game in to do the actual mini game, like to do the announcements for it. Like, that's cool. I really like when organizations, they don't even like pretend. I really like the way the porn industry these days have become just another facet of media, except for a few outliers. Those same outliers say that everything is satanic, or they're promoting bad values, and yet they have no problem watching a black guy get beaten to death by police. But oh no, you showed a nipple. You showed two men kissing. Oh. It's like the people who are complaining right now about The Last of Us 2 because there's a lesbian and there's a trans character. So the fuck what? If you want to complain about anything, complain about the fact that the lesbian story seems a bit forced on, and the trans character felt a bit tacked on. In fact, the trans character, the sole purpose of that trans character is that they're trans. There's nothing else to them. That's really, really, really lame. Like, give them personalities besides. I mean, ContraPoints is a fucking communist and a slut. And a drunk as well. That's a character. That's a character that you can build on. Me? Well, I'm straight, but other than the fact that I sexually objectify the shit out of women, you know, I've got other interests. Want me to talk about alcoholism? Want me to talk about traveling? Want me to ramble on for days with no coherent focus? I'll get me started on alcoholism then. One of these days, I'm just going to do a stream with like no title or anything. And it's just going to be me for 3 hours. Oh, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. And if not longer, absolutely smashed. And just talk about whatever. Don't know if you guys can see this. There's a spider. And the spider's almost caught a fly. Look at the spider. This is the kingdom of the spiders right here. We have so many of them. Hundreds. Those little holes in the side. You couldn't ask for a better spot. Now he knows, or she knows, that it's I'm eyeing it up. Whoa, kind of froze there a little bit. Yeah, so I stopped dealing with them whenever I see them. After a while, I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, one of these days, I'm just gonna get plastered and talk and talk and talk and talk, and it'll have no rhyme or reason whatsoever. Like, I try to keep focused on these sort of streams, and I'm not focused at all. Can you imagine the scattershot brain bullshit that I will go on? Eventually, I'll just be like, and there are nice shoelaces. Shoelaces fucking suck. Wish I could suck. And I'll get like 4 views and never be viewed again by anyone. Well, maybe I'll put it as my like default pick, my video when you go and check out my channel for the first time. And no one will have any idea what to make of it. I don't know why we got seagulls so far inland. But anyway, that is for then. Beer is for now. Brewdog. Brewed and Ellen. No, Elon. Brewed and Elon with 2 L's. Clockwork Tangerine. I think I've actually drank this on the stream before. Not all that great. Not all that great at all. Got a bit of a kick to it. Oh, battery's dying. Okay. I'm going to go and get the bat. I'm going to go inside and charge this up. I know. It's Instagram. Well, Instagram, I know that too. Plug. It's been a while since I tried to plug it up. Don't plug me up. I'm so full. I shall return you late. Post haste. Be out there, yeah. Saved by power of power. I'll leave the window open, the door open. It is a pleasant experience all around. Unlike these man titties, which are just round and pleasant. Whoa. Hello, Mr. Sun. Now, I'm not saying that light literally comes out of me, but it has been known to happen. Whoa. Okay, so. Yay. I used to do the tasting videos here. I remember that. Yeah, I don't like the way the sun's kind of glaring at my skull. There's Metal Monkey's guitar. Never once saw. I did once see him play it. I think he can get a few chords in. So, well done to him, I guess. Alco-tastic. Oh, someone's fucking their drive crank. What you thinking about? I'm thinking about how this is low energy content. Well, you're in the right place. Because everything at the end of the day should be about me. So, yeah. I'm going to start streaming more per week. Probably starting this week. So, I'm going to get a video tomorrow. And then obviously Friday. If we're lucky, we can beat Dawn of War. Hope so too, because I want to get started on that podcast idea with Krendar. But also, Ezreal. I need to actually talk to him and see if there was any games that he found. Like, I'm definitely down for Icewind Dale. That would be a hell of a cool game to play. Like I said, I've only ever gotten a little bit outside of the town before getting my ass kicked. Because I was always playing solo. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Sometimes I wish I had a masseuse. If I had slaves, I would definitely have a girl who I would occasionally bang, but let's be honest here. She'd just have these great fingers to work my scalp, and I'd be like, it is hard being a man of culture and refinement. Which it really is. It's also hard being a pimp. But not hard being a pimp monk. That's excruciating. Which is weird because he don't like pain. It's weird. Probably why he doesn't like me. Nah, he likes me. I think. Yeah, I want to finish Command & Conquer. I want to finish DPRPG. I want to finish Stronghold. That's been nagging at me for all the weirdest reasons. I want to finish... what's the name of it? What's the fucking name of it? Let me think. Red Dead 2. That's it. There's also going to be something else as well. Well, obviously, there's free games. There's a current Epic right now. The game free on Epic. Not that interested. You know what used to make have a lot of free games. GOG. GOG used to have a lot of free games. Now nothing. Full Throttle. I want to finish Full Throttle as well. I was like 60% done with it. There's a lot of games where I'm nearly finished. Yeah. He's going to be here in about 2 hours. My bathroom currently smells like the chemical plant that I aforementioned, which does smell gorgeous, except for the fact that it's it does smell like it's going to kill me, which is one more reason I can't stream tonight. It's just currently nuked with chemicals. I've actually got a few things to throw out of there. I have a surprisingly large amount of toilet seats. Now, a very smart YouTuber would do something with those toilet seats. Me, I'm just going to throw them out. I already threw out the first one. I mean, Ryby has art. Don't know why I did it like that. It's really good art. Story about that in a little bit. Dick. Fucking ghouls think that they own the place. Crows own this part of town, boy. You best remember that. This is Jim Crow territory. Actually, no, it's not. I could definitely do something with tomorrow, but I've already thrown them out. But yeah, Ryby's told me yesterday that she had a set of glasses ready for me, and she was going to send them, but she sold them for $30, and she feels so bad she's going to make me two. The thing is, I couldn't remember her saying that she'd do that in the first place, so I didn't mind, but she was really upset. And I was like, Ryby, you were going to give them to me as a gift. Someone wanted them for money. Obviously, you're going to pick the money over the gift. You're all right. You don't have to do anything. Like, I owe her a bag of rocks, which I'm serious. She wanted a bag of Irish rocks so she could paint. I have 2 in my room so far. I was meant to go rock picking with Caroline when the coronavirus is over. Maybe we could do that. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know. Not going to be cheap sending it out, but fuck it. She can get a few rocks and the like to paint. Should be cool. But yeah, weird. But she was going to send those sunglasses that have eat ass on them. And you know I would play every game with them on my hat. So it'd be cool if I got them, but she's not required to give me jack shit. So I don't mind. See, even though it doesn't taste the best, it still grows on you. Oh, my back started to hurt by the end of today. We were walking. The carrot tile place is so obscure, not even the locals knew about it. And as I was walking, I passed by a place that looked like one of those sort of strip mall. It's in like a sort of strip mall sort of place. It's very cheap, very bottom barrel sort of place, mostly to do with like electric cars, sportswear, things like that. And then right at the end of it, there's a church. Baptist. Probably one of the more obscure American ones, if I had to guess. And I just pictured that little scrawny motherfucker who's on DP a lot, who is always talking about how they need to gas the Jews, not the Jews, the gays, and beat the Jews. Remember, it was beat the Jews and beat the Jews, beat the blacks, and gas the gays. And he's like a preacher. He's obviously a piece of human trash, but I could picture him having a lecture in a place like that. Not that one specifically, because I don't know anything about their policies, but just I could picture that sort of place is where his congregation meet. Like this little out of nowhere business park they rent at exorbitant rates, but they can't find a place nearer to town. It takes like 3 hours to get to. Because I've been to a cult. I don't talk about this much, but I was a part of a cult for... Jesus, how long was I a part of it? It was my post-Nazi period, so... 16, 17. I was actually only part of the inner congregation for about a week before I ran away. Before I actually had to sign a legal document. I'd say about 3-4 weeks. Week 1, they ease you into it. Week 2, you have to start showing up constantly. Week 3, they actually take you out to their old building they have out in the middle of nowhere. They actually got investigated by the Irish media for tax evasion. The head of it is a guy who claims to be the actual Pope. He's out in Spain with his numerous wives, but we weren't allowed to talk to women. We actually were told to isolate and drive them away, whether they be mothers, sisters. We were meant to be simped. We were meant to be gimped. We were meant to be cooked. He had about 5 wives. He's also the actual Pope, by the way. But yeah, that was a crazy time in my life. That might be something, if I ever do those streams where I just tell a story, I'll find out the details of that place. I met them years later, canvassing in Dublin. I was coming out of a pub with some friends, and they said, "Dylan, is that you? You look so different." And I did. At that time, I was in my ZZ Tops era, and I was like, "What? Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Hi. Hi, how did you like running away from us?" It's fan-fucking-tastic. I just kept on walking. "You know, you quit on us, Dylan." I remember him saying that behind, and I said, "Yeah, I did." Oh. Condescending. All of them junkies in some way. And I thought like it was like weed, or maybe they were drinking. Oh no, all of them were fucking heroin addicts. It's good that they got over it, because none of them were doing it bad. That was a crazy time. Like I said, I've got lots of stories to tell. I haven't had a boring life. I haven't had the most interesting life either. It's kind of I'd say about 60%. So mid-tier energy life. Right thing is, though, it ain't done yet. Oh, I can't wait to get to the States. I know I've said that a million times before on this channel. But this time around, I'm doing it right. I'm starting from the right side. Technically the left side of the country, and then I'm going to stick to the left side of the country. But none of this bouncing around, and none of this squandering cash either. I'm going to come with so much money in my pocket that I won't care that I'm going out to getting sloshed every day. Because for one thing, I can get sloshed at home, wherever the hell I'm staying, like I should have been doing. And number 2, I'll be probably traveling from A to B to C to D. I'm also going to be actually staying with more people this time around. I don't know if I'm actually going to be staying with all of them. I know Ryby couldn't put me up. Probably wouldn't want to put me up. But maybe Jay and Chelsea might be up for it. My cousin is probably gonna put me up. My friend Carmen is gonna put me up. DP isn't gonna put me up, but I can guarantee you they'll find me a place that isn't gonna be overpriced. They must know a place that's like 35 a night. You know. Alternatively, I can do what Pitmonk does and just like sleep on a fucking bench for 8 hours. No, I was saying this to Metal Monkey when I was homeless in New York, terrified off my arse. I really didn't think I was going to die. Now, I worked myself up thinking I was going to die in places that, when you, in hindsight, no. Oh, some douche bro is shouting at me from the side of a party bus. What's he going to do? Stop the bus in transit, hop out and beat the shit out of me? No. If he did, I could fucking run. I could fucking fight too. I'd get my ass kicked, but you know. It'd be great footage regardless. You'd have seen that. I think I have the footage. Leading up to like him going, dude, turn that fucking camera off, man! You fucking freak! Oh, dude, I saw titties. I had to act. Now, what was I gonna do? Pull out my cock and start doing that in the middle of the street? No, I was gonna be like, fuck yeah. In Europe, the girls, they fucking line up to whip those tits out. When there's a party, when there's a fucking rave, they don't care who's filming. In Cleveland, no, there's etiquette involved. Bullshit. Fucking Americans. Bet most of those titties were fake too. Great time though. Actually, I have to be honest with you. I never thought I'd say this, but I had the most fun with the most people in Cleveland, of all places. Not the first time around, but coming back. Almost like it was maybe on coming back, it was because I knew, like, I was flying by my seat and pants. But that Italian bar I went to nearly every day, and they treated me like some sort of glorified deity, putting me on a plinth and plowing me with booze. Got my first pickleback there. My last pickleback too, let me tell you. In Seattle, a place like a hotel being 35 a night, I doubt. Hotel be damned. I'm talking about an Airbnb or something. Even a friend who's like, oh yeah, sure, we can put him on a sofa. Because coming out, Ben said when he tried to ship me out to Seattle, very cool of him too. He said that he would. I was in Omaha, and he paid for the flight over, and he said I could sleep the first night. I think not in the studio, but he said he could get arrangements for me. After which, if they couldn't find arrangements, he said he knew a place where a lot of people go and just crash for a few hours. And considering I've seen the city through the lens of Billy the Fridge, yeah, I think I could have been okay with that. I mean, for God's sake, I survived New York with the Micro Machine dude, and the Micro Machine dude fused with Bob Ross, screaming up and down the street for 8 hours straight. What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it? What? I keep telling you, stop it. He's going up and down, up and down. I looked over at the old black dude who I'd been huddling next to for 8 hours and said 2 words to, and he just went. And I knew, you know what? He's an old hack at this. He'd be smart enough to move. I wasn't. I don't need to worry. I saw a very sad scene, and I've told this story. I saw a family, a mother and a daughter, around about 4 o'clock in the morning, to my left, And there was this little communal garden, a part of the church that I was huddling under when I was recording myself. And they had their own little mattress, and they laid it out on the path, and they went to sleep there. And around about 7 in the morning, like it took hours for the sun to actually hit us. But around about 7 in the morning, someone came around and talked to them for a little bit, and then left. And then he came back a little bit later, and he slept with them. So I'm guessing that was the dad. But it was like a whole family that was just out on the street. Also saw a woman. She was talking to. She must have been about 40s, 50s, and she was wandering around with this huge packed up cardboard. Like if you've got, like, say, a treadmill. Like my treadmill came in a cardboard box, very similar to that. And she was carrying it around, and only at like hour 5 or hour 6 in, I realized it would be much nicer than sleeping on the concrete. No wonder I came back with a chest infection. No wonder I thought I had corona. But no, I don't think I've got much to worry about. Maybe Chop rather, will take over the rest of Seattle. But considering it's getting teared down as we speak, because some people were shot in it, which was bound to happen. I mean, they were doing a good thing, but that was doomed to failure. Oh my God. Like, what the fuck would they think was going to happen? They were going to go there and they were going to set shit up and have no law. So they have a few vigilantes doing their best they can. But a vigilante isn't trained. You see, that's the thing. Defund the police doesn't mean strip them of all money and uniforms and kick them out to the curb. It means downgrade them from a military force that will just fucking pepper spray anyone that talks back to them and think that somebody who coughs the wrong way is reaching for a gun, to being what most countries have their police force as, a police force. But with zero police, there's a screenshot. What can I do? But with no police, something like that was bound to happen. Tempers flare, someone with mental disabilities, someone with drug problems, someone who's just a piece of shit, someone who couldn't control their anger, someone who made an accident, had an accident with their gun, whatever. Point is, that was bound to happen, and it sucks. And yeah, even the governor or mayor of Seattle, or whatever, yeah, that would be the mayor of Seattle then, who's like supporting it. Yeah, she's kind of done with it. Of course she is. I mean, she might sympathize with them, but it's not helping. It needs to happen nationwide and be constant. You need to see it in where you're living there, Bill. You need to see a slap. You need to see a slap. You're Salt Lake, right? So Salt Lake Autonomous Protectorate. Yeah. Yeah, you can make slap work. At least, but there is change. There is some change, but it's not going to be as much change as should be. I had a feeling this would happen. But hey, on the plus side, Trump is almost certainly going to lose the election, so good. Biden is nothing in a suit. Not a very good suit either, I gotta be honest with you. Whoever is tailoring Biden's suits is the most boring. It looks like he's just gone to like a standard men's sort of tailor place and being like, suit, body, do. Which I can imagine him, like, I need the thing with the tie and the other stuff. A suit, sir? Yes, this is a hardware store. I think when these things happen, you're to call this number. His nurse just comes up and she was out like with her kids. She's got like 2 kids. Biden is just being let off, very confused and scared. He has to have like a sort of thing around his neck at all times. If you see me outside, I shouldn't be. If you see me outside wearing this, I shouldn't be. Please call this number. Are you the Martians? No. Dementia. It's only funny when Biden has a. Can't think of any other time where dementia is funny. On anyone else with dementia. I mean, I thought Pat Robertson has dementia, but he's still slimy and sickly as ever. No, Biden is funny because he's the best we got. Like, Biden's the best we got. I mean, he's not Hillary, but okay, still. Oh, speaking of, Claire, the one I'm going to be hanging out with in August, she sent me a link to a 4-part documentary on Hillary Clinton that I've looked at the synopsis, and it's very much ball-washy of Hillary, and I'm pretty sure she has a pair. It's probably Bill's. Not Bill Portly. Last time I checked, Bill still has his manly tackles. Talking about Bill Clinton. The pig farmer. Oink, oink. I've done it with pigs. Not even kidding, goddamn pigs. America's a joke. But anyway, she wants me to watch it, and I think I will. But it looks like it's just going to be constantly praising Hillary for everything she's done, because it paints her in such a positive light. But I know better. But I should really watch it and make up my own mind. At least I'll try to watch it. I can tend to be triggered these days by some things. There's a few shows out that are just so condescending, whether it be left wing or right wing. I'm like, ugh, no. Burp. But anyway, we'll keep on going. When this is done, I've got a whole bottle of vodka. Like I said, might as well get a bit jarred in this stream. He doesn't need me to do anything but to show him it. Say that all this needs to go. Is it going to be easy getting it in through the door? And that's it. Which it should be. I mean, this place was built. So, like, it's bound to be. He'll get all the information he needs. Be gone. Won't cost us a penny. I was sure of that. And which is good because we have the money, but I don't want to touch that money. And he'll be getting paid soon enough. We've got the money for him next week. After that, the bath can be put in, and it can be the start of something beautiful. Beautiful. So much beauty, so little time. Yeah. But yeah, I liked the footage of Trump after the Tulsa rally, where the place was just empty. He looked so defeated. He looked so sad, and it was glorious. It was just glorious. It's like he's sinking in, no matter how much he can scream and wail. No, it's over, old sad man. It's over. You've lost. You've lost by being yourself. That's a sad fact because he's blamed everyone else. There's no one else. What's he going to do? Start blaming Ivanka? She hasn't done the finger thing in a while. She just lays there crying like when we first married. But at least she had a tighter ass. I'm a horrible person. A sexualized horrible person. I sexualize myself constantly. Sometimes twice a day. Oh, thank you for the like, mysterious stranger. I honestly like really, really bloody flies. I really can't wait for this whole shit with Trump to be finished. At the end of it, I can just we can rip apart Biden together really well, really quickly, and get actual progressive change done. Because Biden's just going to be so easy to bully. He'll just cow down to anyone and anything. And even if they're not like the greatest changes in the world, small changes are better than no changes. And then the Democrats will run someone who appeals to change because Biden just won't be able to run for another 4 more years. Wait, was Trump married to Ivanka in an alternate universe? Well, that's a weird sentence to say. I mean, if it's an alternate universe, the answer is always going to be yes and no. So, you're going to need to explain that one a little bit. Wait, Ivanka is his wife, right? I did say Ivanka for his wife. The one who looks like a sort of like real doll that's gained sentience, but also a crippling lack of empathy. She actually looks a bit like a female Terminator. Oh shit! Did I say Ivanka? Well, I mean, we all know he kind of has a thing for her. So what's his wife's name? Melina. Is it Melina? I always thought Ivanka was his fucking wife. I know the relationship between his wife and his daughter, and how he kind of wants to bang his daughter. Yeah, his daughter looks like somebody who would be on a lot of those BBC porns, and I'm not talking about the British Broadcasting Company. Trump Jr. looks like he melted a G.I. Joe in the sun for a little bit and then warped his head. Barron, oh, Richie Rich, oh, I feel so sorry for you. I thought your life was more fun than this. Maybe Macaulay Culkin was right, and it just separates you. He looks so sad and scared most of the time. Sad, scared, and bored. Barron's the only one I think you can kind of let him off the hook for being a Trump. The rest of them have all, I mean, as time goes on, they're going to go into their roles more. So maybe one day Barron will be a piece of shit. What are you bitching at? Goals. They think they're better than me. That's because I saw one eat a bag of crisps once that they stole from someone. I think he plays Fortnite under a pseudonym, and he's not allowed to go into the voice chat. And one time he puts into chat, I am Baron Trump, and I was like, yeah, right, whatever, buddy. It's kind of like if you ever watched the Kevin Spacey House of Cards, he eventually went into model making. He made little replica battle scenes, huge, detailed, but he before that he used to play like Call of Duty Battlefield games, and he'd just be in the chat calling people like noobs and fuckwits and things like that. And you're just thinking, how many people actually do that? Because I know a lot of celebrities do game multiplayer wise. Snoop Dogg, I think, comes to mind most of all. But there's probably tons of gaming like politicians these days, especially as games go on. I remember The Witcher 3 when it came out. It was actually gifted to Gordon Brown, like a whole collection of like Ultimate Edition. Like you'd have to spend $2,000 to get it when it came out. The Polish government gifted it to Gordon Brown, who was Prime Minister of the UK at the time, and he was. It was like the game, all the books, custom art, a flag, a PS4 that had like Witcher decals all over it. I think he donated it to charity because he doesn't game. But there must be others. I think Tony Blair, near the end of his campaign, he used to play like Angry Birds a lot. You see that a few times, actually. You see a lot of politicians playing like on their phones. I saw a picture a few days ago. Someone was browsing the internet for like closet supplies and shit like that, like hangers or a new wardrobe or something, in the middle of like a council meeting. No, it was a council meeting in California, and it was on the topic of police brutality. And this black woman was telling her story, but you could see one of the counselors was on her computer on Amazon, like, Denny hit you again with the nightstick. Okay, what next day shipping? Maybe. The answer is always no. You don't want next day shipping if it's a big object, because then you've got to move shit around. Of course, you don't get the option if you're a Prime member, which I'm not. Although I think you can get like your first 30 days of Prime free. Probably a few benefits of being Prime. I wouldn't know. I've only got the base package, and I'm cool with that. It's not like anything is. I get on Amazon that I need the next day, and when I do, I just pay extra for shipping. So the fuck what? Especially because I know how the company treats its employees. If Bezos had his own way, he'd be like half of all America would work for him in some way. Which, in ways, when you think about it, they kind of do. They kind of do already kind of work for Bezos, because you've got the people who actually work in like the factories and the offices, but then you've got like, say, the delivery people dropping shit off. Sure, they might work for FedEx or the Postal Service, but then you also have the actual like, say, the people who are making the objects that then are go on Amazon. Like, it's crazy how no wonder he's the wealthiest man alive. And I'm not a big fan of Elon Musk. I think he's a piece of shit, but I do like how he at least tries to diversify his holdings. Bezos, who the fucking cares? Everything he does just nets him more money, so he doesn't care what he invests in. He probably owns a burger chain and a fucking like nuclear defense contract with China. America gets nuked and launches its own nukes, and then Amazon Prime missiles fire up to protect Beijing as the ultimate and most paradoxical act of capitalism. Always reminds me of I don't know if you ever read any Terry Pratchett books, the Discworld books. But there's a great one. I actually found it on a bus of all things, and I read it cover to cover about 5 times. Eventually, I took it into the bath one day, and yeah, it was ruined. But it was Jingo, and one of my favorite books out of all of Discworld. They're all gathered. The city goes to war with the massively overpowered, like, Arabic empire across the water over this little island that's just magically appeared, literally magically appeared. And they're saying, "Oh no, it's ours," and the empire's like, "Oh no, it's ours." So they go to war. Everyone's like, "Well, this is kind of stupid," but for the most part, they're like, "We're going to go to war and defeat these foreigners." Now, what army do we have? Sir, we do not have an army. Can we raise one? Yes, sir. It will only require us paying off every wealthy person in town to raise their own forces. All right. What about our weapons? Well, the empire that we're going to go to war with, they put a contract out for us to make their most powerful weaponry. We never had a chance to make some for ourselves. Okay. Can we call in their loans? Yes. I'm sure our lawyers will reach the court of the Sultan perfectly safe. Like, also, what needs to remind wealthy people is that a gun is more powerful than a dollar, at least in theory. Now, when you're a third party looking in, that's when that $1 will be really useful, or a lot of $1. I mean, that's why a lot of revolutions fell apart. A lot of revolutions, a lot of communists fucking turned because, Russian industry and Russian economics were so shit that they saw what Americans were living as and were like, oh shit. That's why so many North Koreans are so heavily oppressed in terms of information. They're told thousands of millions of people in America starve while the wealthy count out their billions in their opulent penthouses. It's not without truth, but for the most part, starving is not as big of an issue for the bulk of America. The vast majority of America, or Europe for that matter. So they sent spies over to say LA or New York or Washington, and they get caught straight away. But beforehand, they look around and are like, oh, not only are you allowed to say whatever the fuck you want, in theory, but you're allowed to... Oh, shit, we're kind of the bad guys. Yes. Yep. But hey, so long as China keeps flooding you with support and aid, you can keep on being the bad guys. Oh my god. In that one instant, I became the dude sitting in his truck talking about how the liberals need some Christian values. This country was founded... Oh, look at me. I'm in the fucking baseball cap. What is this Irish flag be replaced with an eagle eating a hamburger in front of an American flag? I have become that which I have hated. MAGA. I should bring in my Nuka-Cola hat. I still would love to pick up a MAGA hat. I'm serious. Those motherfuckers, once he's out of office, they will skyrocket in price. Someone pulled in. I hope it's not him. I'm worried he's going to come early. Oh no, he's doing a UB. Let's get out of here, Scoob. That's right. You don't want to be around the building that has the energy of low in it. Oh no. Fucking sucks. Just in general, it sucks. Top of it all off, my Claritin I took for my hay fever is starting to wear off. Anyway, me. Bill, how have you been? How are you doing? Are you doing okay? Are you doing terrible? You can tell the room if you can. I don't think the lamp behind me will care too much. Actually, there's a really cool lamp back there. It's got a sort of dimmer switch, but you can also rotate it. It's kind of cool. Came with the place. I remember there's actually two of them, and my ma wanted it. I was like, yeah, sure, take it. We're never going to use it. We never have. And she took the spare. Jesus. I've been talking for nearly 2 hours now. Sometimes I hear people talking really loudly. And it's I fill in the stories myself. Right now I can hear someone talking. So I'm guessing they're having an argument. But you can't hear the words. So it's like so I imagine they're talking about how they can cut up all this opium before the Chinese spot that it's gone. That's my theory. Lao She will be here any minute. You know what he does to Westerners who fuck over him? No? Nothing? Okay. Go absolutely quiet after a fact. I think I'll stream for another 20 minutes. Give us a nice 2-hour mark. I don't know, if a few more people pop in, sure, why not? Why the fuck not? I literally just heard someone say Yahoo. I don't think they're talking about the more or less failed browser. I used to use the shit out of Yahoo Messenger. I'm sure I still have an account somewhere, but my God. Oh, I know all that laughing and hollering is going on. There's a football pitch over there. No music in shops and no magazines in salons. The new rule business must implement to reopen. Ooh, sounds violent. Businesses will have to work with each other and transport operators to ensure. I like sitting at the bar. I like chatting with people. There's my neighbor coming in. Under plans to limit, yeah, guidance for England has been issued. Business that are allowed to reopen from July. I might actually head up north before the end of the year. If so, I'll bring the camera. These guidance include an advice on Boris Johnson's reduction of the 2 meter rule to 1 meter If 2 is not viable, only with risk mitigation face masks. Closed contact services such as hairdressers, spas, tailors, hotels, and heritage locations such as churches and historical houses. All of them must keep a temporary record of customers for 21 days to help the NHS test and trace, with requests from data if needed. Here are the new rules. Oh, that's going to cause a lot of Karens to bring out their phones, let me tell you. Sorry, madam, could you just sign here that you're actually walking in? You what? You what? Impact of many venues to open by working together with local authorities and travel operators to assess the risk and apply additional mitigations. This could include further lowering capacity and staggering entry times to avoid queues, arrange one-way travel routes between transport hubs and venues, advise patrons to avoid particularly crowded forms of transport or route. Plans for social distancing event of adverse weather conditions. Really? Oh, jeez, I'm not going to read. Say they've laid out a plan that won't be followed in any real. Yeah. It's fear of growing second coronavirus wave. Yeah, that's going to happen. Conservative MP reveals breast cancer diagnosis. Holder sucks to be hurt. Holder appears in court over death of 39 migrants found in container. Oh yeah, I remember him. Heat wave health alert. UK is about to be hit with a massive heat wave, and Ireland will get some sort of blowback of that, which will be absolutely lovely because we're not going to be overwhelmed with a heat wave. Former professional footballer comes out as gay. I can remember this name and ask Metal Monkey. He knows this football. Thomas Beattie. As you in the US, Canada, and Singapore. Right. Yeah, I imagine there's a lot of gay guys who work in football. Pilots in Pakistan plane crash, distracted by coronavirus. No. The remote Bosnian village untouched by the global pandemic. Let's bring a film crew in. Great, yeah. Please study. I even saw that there's some tribes in the Amazon that now have the virus. Police data understand how many lockdown fines were issued to blah 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 blah. Uninteresting. What is interesting, however, is that I need to finish the rest of this beer. Some mac and cheese and some brie bits, so I'm going to be full of cheese by the end of it. Saying that, I've been very good this week. Tuna. I do like fish. I like fish a lot, but my Christ. Like, it's too much of something. These guys might be a bit taste, I'm not going to lie. Have I found new friends? Hang on. I'm going to stick my head. I'm going to be nosy. I'm going to stick my head out. See if I can spot any of these lads. They sound like they're here to fucking party. It's coming from the houses across the way there. I just heard this. I just heard the most Dublinish of accents. And I told Dad to calm the fuck down. That's all I heard, and I'm like, yeah. I hope they're there for the pub. I want to see them. I want to talk to them. With tourists. But now that I'm down here, a Dubliner comes to me. And I'm like, hey, fellow Dulce. The fuck is a Dolce? You saying something, mate? I'm just painting Dublin as this giant heroin brush, but it's kind of true. If there was one fucking drug in Dublin growing up, it was heroin. I mean, it was obviously alcohol, but alcohol was the acceptable drug. If you saw an old drunk, you'd be like, "Oh, bless. Hello there, Seamus." Maybe sure. Or in my case, Dad, would you wake up? Roy. Apple does not fall far from the tree. If I ever do have a kid, I swear to Christ, they're either going to be far worse than me. Oh, I let a bloody fly in here. Or they're going to be like the most stuck-up, prudish motherfucker on the planet. Like they'll find Jesus or even Mohammed or Buddha. They'll constantly be handing me pamphlets saying that my soul needs saving. I'll be like, great. So I found these pills. I don't know what they do, but do you want to, father-daughter type? For some reason, I'm assuming you got a daughter. And she'd be like, all right. and then we'll have a great evening together. Then she'll overdose and die in my arms. Just like her sister did. Damn, that got bleak. Almost done. Okay, I actually might wrap it up here. I need to take a piss. I got myself a fly situation. And best of all, I mean, this has gone on nearly an hour longer than it should have. So, yeah. Actually, no. It's another 10 minutes. I can do another 10 minutes. Still need to get pissed, though. Be right back. Okay, let me just grab. Ow, 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 ow. We got some cheapo vodka and some cheapo cola. Because when you get store brand, you get the crappy store brand. Everyone knows there's store brand, but what if I told you there were deeper levels of sadness? I'd call you mad. Say that there cannot be such a monstrous thing as crappier than store brand. But alas, there is. Nikita Imperial Vodka. Oh, I should have gotten the bloody fly spray. All right, I'll let you out. Look, you're alive. What? Wait. Gotta love our new dishwasher. There we go. So sparkly and new. Cleaning that is gonna be a bitch. Oh, for fuck's sake! Come on. No, don't run away. Fly away. There, I'll just leave the fucking window open. I am not a fan of flies. Out here, we got blue bottles, horse flies. We got some minuscule mosquitoes. Nothing huge. We also got midgies, we call them. Which I know sounds like some sort of obscure racial term. Maybe it is. But yeah, midgies are not your friend. If you're wearing cargo shorts, they are not your friend. They will come at you, bro, and they will suck deep. Okay, he's gone. That was a good old-fashioned blue bottle. Most disgusting ones, and very likely to kill your dog. The blue bottle will land on the food, lay its eggs. The dog will eat the eggs. That is a quick fire way to give them lungworm. Lungworm, heartworm. I suppose ringworm as well, but that's not so much an actual worm. Let's wrap up this stream by talking about all the parasites we know. Leeches, tapeworms, fleas, ticks, people on social disability. Ben Shapiro. The horror. Well, I've enjoyed today. Tomorrow I will stream. Don't know what time. Probably around about 6. What the fuck? Yo, fly. Smell. Yeah, you go. You go fly. You go fly. Yeah. Would rats constitute as a parasite? No, chiggers would. Good old-fashioned chiggers. Chiggers. They also not been known to lower property value. Crime seems to increase when there's a increase of chiggers. Chiggers. Remember, kids, Black Lives Matter. Which they did. Oh. God, they put that one on extra tight. Oh. That one was tighter than a... Child bride Ivanka. Oh. You know, if I was like a super big YouTuber, the shit I'd say would get me into so much trouble. On the off chance that years later I have millions of subs and no one even remembers what a pootie pie even is, and this is being used against me, I will point at this particular scene and I will say, You're all beautiful today. All of you. You don't need me to tell you that. But it's true. Yes, even you. I don't know what else to follow up on. But that would have paused, and then I could have reused that, and I'd be like, does that look like a bad person to you? I've literally got sunlight coming in on me. I'm not evil, you are. Anyway. I'm going to go now and spruce up the bathroom a bit. I'm actually going to also put on my dinner. My cheesy dinner. Oh, I couldn't have gotten anything else. Oh, why did I get all that cheese? Ugh. So tomorrow I will stream, and it will be a good thing. I'll also tell you how today went. I mean, he's going to show up. He's going to look at my bathroom. He's going to measure my bath. I'm going to show him that the fan works fine. He probably is going to say clean the fan at least. Like, yeah, I can do that. And yeah, beyond that, I mean, I ain't got nothing. Except that I'm surprised this lasted a whole extra hour than I was originally planning to. Well, it will in the next minute or so. So, before I go, I want to say if you like the stream, you know what to do. Like, share, and subscribe. Check our links below in other videos for links to our Discord. And of course, if you want to help out financially, I got a Streamlabs for a better PC where I'll be playing games. Hope to get 2 screens, one for gaming and one for work. Editing. OBS will be on one of the screens. Is there anything else before I go? Yes. When you're done, make sure that you wash off the weapon, your clothes, burn your clothes, have a new set of clothes ready to go, and a bag of money, because you have to bribe at least 3 people. At least 3. And if you think that they won't charge more, oh, they'll definitely charge. They'll have you over a barrel. In one case, quite literally. Long story. Involves clowns. Anyway, see ya. Bye. End stream. Yes.